You know, there are places that look ordinary on a map. But when you step into them, you feel something, like the air changes, like you've walked into a memory. That's what happens when you visit the Big Sky Movie Ranch in Simi Valley. Because this isn't just a piece of land, it's Walnut Grove, the real one. The place where Little House on the Prairie wasn't just filmed. It was lived. And today, I want to take you on a journey, not just through the fields and buildings, but through time. We're going to walk the same paths Charles walked, stand where Laura once stood, and look at how it was, and how it is now. Because after all these years, this place still holds its breath. And if you listen closely, you can still hear the harmonica. Let's start at the beginning. The Ingalls cabin. You know it. You've seen it 1,000 times. Wooden walls, a little porch, a rocking chair where Pa would sit at the end of the day. It wasn't just a set, it was the heart of the show. And when you stood in front of it in the 70s, it felt like home. Not because it was fancy, but because it was real. They didn't fake the fire. They didn't use props for the dishes. Caroline really stirred the soup. Laura really carried the water, and when the camera wasn't rolling, the cast still called it home. Now, the house is gone. Not burned, not destroyed, but taken down over time as the ranch was reused for other shows. But here's the thing, the foundation is still here. Just a low rectangle of concrete peeking through the grass. And when you stand on it, you don't just see nothing. You feel everything. I closed my eyes once and heard Ma calling, "Girls, come in for supper." Carrie laughing, Mary reading aloud, and Pa's voice, calm and steady, saying, "It's going to be all right." Wasn't loud, but it was there, and I wasn't imagining it. I was remembering, because this place remembers. Now, let's walk down the path to the Olson Mercantile. You can't forget that red building. Harriet behind the counter, Nellie smirking in the doorway, Nels weighing out flour like it was gold. It was the center of town, the place where gossip started, where deals were made, and where, every now and then, someone learned a lesson. Now, the building is still standing, but it's been repainted, used in westerns, even turned into a saloon for other shows. But the shape, the windows, the door, still the same. And if you look close, really close, you can see the old nail holes from the Olson's Mercantile sign. I ran my finger over them once, and it hit me. This was real, not just a TV set. This was a place where actors came to work, where fans later came to remember. And that sign? It hung there for years, just like Harriet's, sharp words. But now, the silence is kinder. Now, let's go to the schoolhouse. This little one-room building, it meant so much. It's where Laura learned to write, where Mary studied Braille, where kids argued, made up, and grew up. And the teacher. Sometimes it was Mr. Edwards, sometimes Mr. Foster, sometimes Pa. And when the bell rang, you just felt it, like childhood. Now, the schoolhouse is still here. It's been restored, used for events, and sometimes people come just to sit in the desks. One woman told me. I sat in Laura's seat, and for the first time in years, I felt like someone believed in me. I get that. Because this wasn't just a classroom. It was a place where you learned more than spelling. You learned how to be brave, how to stand up, how to be kind. And now, it's still teaching, just in a quieter way. Now, let's walk to the church. That simple wooden building with the steeple. It didn't have stained glass. It didn't have pews of polished wood, but it had something better. Peace. This is where the town gathered, for weddings, for funerals, for Sunday service. And when the camera panned over the congregation, Charles and Caroline holding hands, the kids in their Sunday best, it wasn't acting. It felt like family. Now, the church is still standing, but it's empty. The pews are quiet. No hymns, no sermons. But the light, when it comes through the windows in the late afternoon, it's golden, warm, and for a moment it feels like someone just said, Amen. And, it's not about religion, it's about belonging. Now, let's go to the bridge, that little wooden footbridge over the creek. It wasn't big, but it was important, because it wasn't just crossing water. It was crossing moments. Laura and Almanzo walking hand in hand, Mary pausing, learning to move without sight, kids running to school, and families coming home. It was a threshold, from one chapter to the next. Now, the bridge is still there, weathered, a little worn, but strong, and fans leave things. Rocks with names, notes, flowers. One says, "Thank you for showing me that love doesn't have to be loud to be real." And that's the thing. This bridge? It's not just wood and nails. It's made of memory. Now, let's talk about the town. Then, Walnut Grove was alive. The blacksmith shop, the hotel, the sheriff's office, even the mill. It wasn't just backdrop. It was a world, and the cast didn't just pretend to be neighbors. They were neighbors. Melissa Gilbert once said, "We didn't break character. We waved, we smiled, we were a town. And that's why it felt real." Now, some buildings are gone, others are used for different shows. The blacksmith shop, now part of a Western the Hotel, a crime scene in some new series. But the layout, still the same. And when you walk down the main street, you can point and say, "That's where Nellie threw dirt at Laura. That's where Pa sold the wheat. That's where Grace took her first steps." And it's not nostalgia, it's truth because it happened, here, on this ground. Now, let's go to the cemetery. It wasn't big, just wooden markers, names like Baby Grace and Alice Garvey. And it wasn't just for drama, it was for grief, for saying goodbye, and for showing that love doesn't end when someone dies. Now, the cemetery is still here. But it's changed. Because now, it's not just for characters. It's for real people. Fans come. They bring photos. They leave letters. One says, "I never had a father like Charles, but he taught me what one should be." Another, "I was blind as a child. Mary made me feel seen. And I stood there once, reading them, and I cried. Because this isn't just a set, it's a place of healing." Now, let's talk about nature. Then, they didn't fake the seasons. No green screens, no fake snow. They filmed in real weather. So, when you saw snow, it was cold. When you saw dust, it was dry. And when Laura ran barefoot, her feet were really in the dirt, and that authenticity, it's still in the land. Now, the ranch is protected, part of a park. Deer still walk the fields. Birds still sing, and in the morning mist, it feels like time stopped, like the prairie is holding its breath, and maybe it is. Now, let's talk about Michael Landon. Then, this was his world. He didn't just show up to work. He walked the sets every morning, fixed a loose board, hugged the cast. He called this place sacred. And when the show ended, he said, "I don't know how to say goodbye to this." Now, his presence is still here. Fans leave flowers at the Ingalls' doorstep. They whisper, "Thank you, Pa." And on quiet days, you can almost hear him. Not in sound, but in spirit. And the cast, Melissa Gilbert has come back, Karen Grassel too. they walk the paths, touch the walls, and in interviews they say the same thing. It wasn't a set, it was home. And that's the truth, because for 9 years this ranch wasn't pretending to be Walnut Grove. It was Walnut Grove, and now it's a keeper of stories. So what happens now? There's a movement growing to preserve this place, to protect what's left, to honor the cast, the crew, the legacy. Because this isn't just Hollywood history, it's our history, our comfort, our childhood, and every time we watch the show, we're not just remembering, we're coming home. So the next time you see the Ingalls walking across the field, look at the trees, the sky, the dirt, because it was all real and it's still there, waiting, remembering, and whispering. Go ahead, Laura. Tell them about it. And now we are.